What's up, Forex for Beginners family? Okay, today is going to be an exciting lesson. Today we're going to put TradingView and MetaTrader 4 together, and we're kind of going to get you to do some basic chart markups. So what we do as traders is we mark up the charts, and based on what we see on the charts, we open and close trades. Okay, so this right here, what you're looking at is TradingView. If you logged into your account, you should see this, whatever your username is. Mine's CryptoSad. So once you're logged in here, you'll see this screen here. What I want you to do is just click on charts, and then these are just my saved charts, but if you just click on charts one more time, it should load the MetaTrader 4 charting software. So this right here, this is primarily where we mark up the charts. This is where we do our analysis. And what we see here tells us when to buy and sell. Okay, so make sure you're logged into your TradingView account and you're at this page. So right now we're just going to minimize this right now. And now we're gonna, right here you can see in our previous tutorials, we installed the MetaTrader 4. And we set up a demo account in Hugo's Way. So I want you to open up MetaTrader 4. So double click and let MetaTrader 4 load. Just close anything that pops up. So basically we want to see this screen right here. So I'm going to teach you a little bit on setting up your charting and which currency pairs that are shown. So what we're first going to do is, if you haven't already logged in, go to File and then go Log into Trade Account. Right here is where you put in your login info and your password. Make sure it says Demo3 and hit Login. But I'm already logged in, and if you're logged in, you should see a balance right here. So if you're logged in, you should see a balance, and you also should see some sort of number here. So it shows 8/0 kilobytes, and it shows connection status. So there we're connected, and when it shows your account balance, if you don't see this, make sure you're on the right tab. There's many tabs here. We want to be on the trade tab right there. So again, so make sure you're logged in. You should see account balance here, and you should see some sort of number right on the bottom right here. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to click right here. This is our time charts or our time settings. So each one of these bars right here represents either one day, because right now we're on the daily. So we're just going to click on monthly. So each one of these bars here is a month. Okay, so next what we're going to do is we're going to go to 1 second here. We're going to go to View and Symbols. And right here, so this is actually where you select which currency pairs or which assets you want to trade or which are viewable. So some of you are asking about cryptos, some of you asking about Forex pairs. This is where we're going to actually select which ones we're interested in. So if you go and click this plus, you should get a drop down here. Make sure all of these are not grayed out. So if I click hide for a second here, see when it's hidden, it'll be grayed out here. We don't want this grayed out. So just go ahead and select each one of these, and see, this one's grayed out. I'm going to select it and then go click on Show. So I want you to make sure all of these are shown in gold. That means it'll be viewable in the next screen that I show you. So just make sure all of these are gold colored. And if they're not, just select on it and click on Show. If it's hidden, it'll be gray, but we want it to say Show. So make sure all of these are shown. And then we can just minimize that. I don't suggest trying to learn trading cryptos right now. Let's just stick to the major FX pairs, but I'll show you how to display the cryptos if you're interested in that. You can go to here, exotics. No, we don't want to go to exotics right now. Metals is another good one. So if you go to metals, make sure you can select this. So gold, this is gold. XA, actually, sorry, this is silver. XAGUSD, that's silver. Gold is another one. Get rid of, I'm going to hide this one. So just make sure gold and silver are selected and shown. See how it says show here? So make sure this is gold colored, and as well as this is gold colored, and then we can minimize that. And here's cryptos. Everyone's always asking about cryptos. You can trade cryptos like Forex now. You don't actually have to buy coins. So just go here, select Bitcoin versus US dollar, and make sure it's selected to show. So make sure it's gold. And then we're just going to close this. So what that does is, if you click on this one right here, Market Watch, what that does is that lists all these assets here. So now we have, we have all our major pairs here, and we have, here's gold, here's silver, here's Bitcoin. So this is how we select which asset we want to trade. So go ahead and close this. If you have, maybe if you opened up and you might have like all of these squares open. Hold on, let me just select them all. So if you have all these windows open, sometimes when you newly install Hugo's Way, you might have all these things open. Just go ahead and hit the little X. See this X right here? Just close all these. We want to have a nice clean chart. So, and then make sure this is open. We want to have this open. You can slide this up and down if you want, but let's slide it and have it about this size. And for these tabs, we want to make sure it's on trade. So we like to see our account balance, and we like to see our profit loss on the bottom right here. So that's how we want, this is all that we want to see on our screen. We want to see this large window here that shows us which pair chart we're actually looking at. So right here it shows GBP USD, and here all these tabs are different charts that I have open. So how do we open up a new chart? So what you do is you go click on this little button right here. I'm clicking on it, and then we're going to work on this right here, GBP USD. So what we're going to do is we're going to use our, let me see what happens when you double click. Okay, when you double click it opens, this is how you place a trade. We're not going to do this yet. So right here, just go to GBP USD, and with your mouse, click on your right mouse button. It'll bring up this button again. So come over here, click with your right mouse button, and we're going to go chart window. So when you hit that, it'll open up a new chart window. So now we're just going to close this, and this is what you should be seeing right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to, up right here, we're going to have these two selected. See how it pushes in? We want these selected. What this does is just kind of moves the chart to the left so you can better view your chart. So just right now, just select that one and select this one. Make sure these two are pushed down, and then it'll push the chart kind of right here. So then right here, we're gonna again right click on our mouse, right click, bring up this menu. One more time, we're gonna right click on our mouse, and we're gonna go click on grids. So what that does is it kind of removes that grid, and it just leaves this nice clear chart. So right now we're on the 1 hour time frame. We're just gonna click on monthly for now. Click on monthly, and then here, this is our zoom buttons right here. So plus, or sorry, minus zooms out. We're gonna hit the zoom button many times, and then kind of get this display right here. Right now we're looking at, see each one of these lines here. this is actually a bar chart. We're not going to use bar chart. We're going to use candlestick. So if you come up here and click on this middle icon right here, you're going to see it change to candlestick. So this is what we use every day when we're analyzing the charts. We're going to use candlestick. So make sure up here we have the middle one selected right here. And then we're just gonna, I think we're about done with setting up our Hugo's Way MetaTrader chart. So at this point, all I want you to do is have the chart looking how I have it set up right now. And that's about it for now. So we're just going to minimize this. So right here, we're just going to hit the minimize button. It's going to drop down. So now we're going to go into TradingView, back to TradingView. So you should have something that looks similar to this. So this TradingView, why I advised you guys to get a TradingView account is because this is where we do our chart markups. We don't use MetaTrader 4 for doing chart analysis and marking up our charts. You can do it on there, but it's not as great as a tool as TradingView. If you're looking to trade long term, I suggest investing in TradingView. It's the best software you can use to analyze the charts. Okay, so next what we're going to do here, now we have to set up TradingView, a little bit of a setup here. So what I want you to do is, if you go over here on the right side here, I'm going to have you favorite some currency pairs. So if you type in here, so click your mouse button here, I want you to type in GBP USD. So again, type in GBP USD and we can select right here. So just select, actually you guys select GBP USD and just click on here for FXCM. So what this does is when you click on it, it should save that currency pair on your chart here. I've already got it saved, so I want you to go ahead and save all of these pairs right here. 1 second, I'm just going to bring it up. So what I want you to do is see all of these pairs right here. These are all of these. These are all the major currency pairs that I want you to, all of these right here. I want you to add all of these over here. So I'll give you a second here to do that. But all of these pairs, AUD USD, Euro USD, GBP USD, NZD USD, USD CAD, USD CHF, USD JPY. I want you to go over here to add symbols, and I want you to type in each one of these, AUD USD, and add it to, so I'm going to go USD CHF, and you can just pick the first one, click on it, and it'll see it just added it to right here. So in the future, if you want to quickly change charts, you can just click, now that it's saved here, you can just click here and it'll load. See right here, it loaded USD CHF, which is a Swiss franc, in your chart window. So go ahead and take a second and add all of those currency pairs into your watch list. It'll make it really quick for you to change within symbols. So right now we're just gonna continue using GBP USD. 1 second here. You can also enter it here, GBP USD. This is to select it in your chart window, but over here is where we want to add it to our favorites, so we don't have to always type in over here. We'd rather just save it in our favorites, and then we can just click here to change charts really quick. So I have US oil added here as well, so you know, I can quickly go to a chart that I've already marked up. But we're going to go back to GBP USD. Actually, I'm going to save that GBP USD. And now I'm back to GBP USD. So because in the previous lessons we've used GBP USD as our template, we're just going to continue working with this pair right now. Okay, so now that you have various currency pairs added to your watch list here, we're just going to click on this button here to hide it. So right here, what I'm moving around, this is like my this little guy right here. This is my drawing tool toolbar. So that's the next thing we're gonna to set up. So this right here, all of these have been favorited, and how you do that is you go over here. So we're gonna go to the left side column here, and we're gonna just start favoriting things. So you see there's a little arrow here on each one of these bars when you move your mouse. We're going to click on this guy here and see what I have favorited. So I don't have any of those favorited, so let's go here. So see how this star right here is highlighted in gold? That means I've favorited these items. So I want you to go ahead and do that too. So you just click on this and it favorites it and it adds it over here. See how it just added it? We're not gonna favorite that one. So I want you to favorite trend line. Then I want you to favorite horizontal line. I don't use this very much, so we're just gonna unclick that. So again, just trend line, horizontal line, arrow, and parallel channel. So go ahead, I'll give you a second to favorite these right here, here, and here. And then that'll start adding it to this little shortcut bar we have here. So okay, so once we're finished adding those ones, we can just go to our next tool here. And here we're gonna favorite fib retracement, and we're gonna favorite fib extension. And that's it for this one. So just these two. And then the next one is, okay, we're gonna favorite rectangle, and we're gonna favorite ellipse. And then after that, we're gonna go to text, or this little icon here. We're gonna favorite text, and you could favorite a couple more of these if you want. We pretty much can favorite anything we want here, but for now, let's just do text and then move on to the next one. Here, this is more for advanced trading. We're not going to favorite anything in here right now. And here, we're going to favorite long position, short position, and date and time price range. Favorite that one. Okay. And then here is more drawing like icons and little things you can add to your chart. We're not going to favorite anything out of these right now. Ruler or measure, we can skip that for now. This is a zoom tool. So if you click on it once, see how it's blue now? And then it turns your cursor into a little magnifying glass. You can just kind of hold down on your left mouse button. So click with your left mouse button, hold, and drag, and then release. It just zooms in on that area. To change your chart, see what I'm doing right now? I have a wheel mouse. So if you have a wheel mouse, you can scroll left and right. And then also I want you to look at over here. If you click on your left mouse button, so click on your left mouse button and hold, and then drag down and up, and you can change this chart height. So again, you come to this column here, click on your left mouse button and hold, and then drag up and down. So I just want you to get familiar with that because we will do that quite frequently. Just going to move this. And again, you can use your wheel mouse. So on my mouse, there's a little wheel and you can move the chart left and right, and then here, up and down. So I want you to remember how to do that. Practice it a few times. So we favorited our toolbar here. We have all these little tools. Well, I'm going to show you how to use in a little bit. I showed you how to move the chart. Also, see how the chart kind of, some parts are cut off here. If you want to just reset your chart, I want you to remember this. Anywhere on the screen here, I want you to click the right mouse button. Again, anywhere on your chart, click the right mouse button, and then we're going to click on, where is it? Okay, right here, reset chart. And then it kind of configures the chart layout so it can better view the entire chart. So anytime that your chart kind of gets in a weird position, just go right click on your screen and select reset chart. And then again, you can click with your left mouse button and hold and drag up and down, and then your wheel mouse, you can scroll left and right. So those are some basic functions I want you to be aware of and practice. Okay, so next, what we're going to do is, I've already saved my chart here, but I'm going to teach you this as well. So right here, it automatically, periodically will save, but let's go and click. So use your left mouse button and click on this. Let's have autosave selected. And then we're going to go rename. Yours probably says right now unnamed. So you can go ahead and give it a name, anything you want. I called it Mind Master Crypto because I use this chart layout to primarily look at cryptos, but you can label it anything, it doesn't matter. And then click save. And once you save, it should change the name right here. Also, why I said to get the Pro or Pro Plus account is you're able to save so you can go new chart layout, and here, yeah, so if you want more than 5 chart layouts or more than 1, if you have a free account, you'll only be able to save 1 chart layout. That's why I suggest either having the Pro or Pro Plus account. But if you want to save charts or load a new chart layout, you can use this button here. And then once you have saved multiple chart layouts, you can see here that I have multiple chart layouts for different chart setups I have. So I'll show you one of my chart setups. So momentum is another chart layout that I have. I use this for Bitcoin. This is a little bit more advanced. But you can see I have multiple chart layouts. And this is if you have a more than one, if you have you're able to save more than one chart layout if you have a higher than a free account. So I always suggest a Pro or a Pro Plus account so you can save multiple chart layouts. But anyways, this is going a little bit off topic. We're just going to close this, hit leave, and we're going to close this. So we're back to our, sorry, one second here. We're back to our, right here, GBP USD. So the next thing I want you guys to do is we're going to start marking up the charts here. So, right, okay, sorry, one more other thing. We're going to favorite our time setting here. So each one of these bars right here, each one of these candles represents whatever we have set up here for time setting. So if we go to 1 hour, And see how when I clicked on 1 hour, it's really compressed here? You can use this right here to scroll up and down in your wheel mouse, but this is where I'm a certain situation where the chart doesn't look right. So what we do is we click on our right mouse button and we go reset chart there. So now it's back to a setting or a viewable chart layout. So this is the 1 hour chart, we call it. So each one of these bars, I'll highlight it. So right here, see this one bar right here, this white bar, this one bar, because we're on the 1 hour chart, this represents 1 hour of price movement. So see how when the price is falling, it's white. Your colors may be different, it doesn't matter. Yours could be green and blue. You can adjust that later. If you actually right click on your screen here, let me see if I can change the color for you. Settings. Yeah, so here if you want to change like the color of your candles, right now mine's blue and white, and you can change this. So how I did that, if you just right click on your screen, anywhere on your screen, and go settings, you can change the colors. You can copy what colors I have here. I'll give you a second to view that, but we don't have to change that right now. I just like blue and white. So blue represents, so one second here. So blue right here. See how blue, this bar that's going up? So blue represents, on my chart, represents price going up, and then white represents price falling. So see right here, see these are two bars right here, two candlesticks, and because I'm on the 1 hour chart, that represents 1 hour here and 1 hour. So those are 2 hours of price movement. So I'll show you how to do all this in a minute here, but I just want you to one second, sorry. Trying to get rid of the dotted lines. Right, okay. So let me show you, actually I'll talk about this later. Just want a solid line so you can easily view what I'm trying to show you here. Okay, so see how right here, this is where I'm going to show you or teach you more about candlesticks in a later tutorial. But right now, see, this is where price opened right here, and then price dropped to here. So in 1 hour, price opened here and dropped to this point. So if you come over here, this is where what this is actually the actual price of so right here it opened at 1.290. So because we're looking at GBP USD, that means at this time here 1.29 GBP, because that's our base currency, GBP. 1.29 GBP was worth $1 US. So because we're trading GBP US dollar, so right here at this period in time, at this 1 hour candle, it opened at 1.290 GBP versus US dollars. And then in 1 hour, see how, see right here where it is called where the candle closed in 1 hour. You can see right here that in 1 hour, price fell from 1.290 to 1.288 GBP versus the US dollar. So don't get too confused about that. I just want you to see that this right column here represents price, and this candlestick here, when it falls, this one candle, because we're on the 1 hour chart right now, it represents 1 hour of price movement, and the price moved from 1.290 to 1.288. So basically, when we're trading, what we're trying to do is predict which way price moves, and if we predict it correctly, we make money. So, okay, so the other thing I want to show you is right now, this white line here, this dashed line, yours might be a different color, but basically this is where price currently is. So right now, British pound versus the US dollar is at 1.271. So if you went and bought GBP, so say if you went to you wanted to buy British pound, so for every US dollar you bought, you would get 1.27 GBP. So this is the price of GBP for every US dollar, because we're trading GBP versus US dollar. Right now the current price is 1.27 GBP versus the US dollar. So that's all I want you to know for this right now. So just know what this right column is, know what the current price is, and understand that each one of these bars represents whichever time setting we have here. So I'm going to erase these drawing tools right now. So if you click on these drawing tools, it'll bring up this second menu right here, and you can just hit the remove button. You could also click on it once, and there's a lock button here. Sometimes I have my drawing tools locked. So you don't actually accidentally move it when you're drawing up a chart. So you can actually lock it in place, and now I can't move it. See, when I try to move it, it won't move. But if I unlock it, I can move it again. But right now I'm going to delete all of these, because I just wanted to show you quickly what a candlestick is and how each one of these bars represents a time frame. And right here on the right column is where the current price. This is the current price of GBP versus US dollar. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is a little bit more chart setup. So we're going to favorite. So if you click here, right here on this arrow, we're going to favorite all of these time settings that I have already favorited. So go ahead and favorite, hit the star for 1 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute, 30 minute, 1 hour, 2 hours, 4 hours, 1 day, 1 week, and 1 month. So again, I'll give you a second here to just highlight or star all of these: the 1 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute, 30 minute, 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour, 1 day, 1 week, 1 month. And then just close that. So now up here, you should have all your favorited time frames. So again, let's talk about the time frame. So each one of these bars right now, because 1 hour is selected, represents 1 hour. So I want you to understand that. So right now we're going to click on monthly and see how the chart gets a little messed up. So we're going to right click and hit reset chart. So now each one of these bars So this bar right here now represents 1 month. So just going to draw in these lines to make it easy for you guys to understand. So this bar right here represents 1 month. Because why? Because we have 1 month selected. So each one of these bars is 1 month, 1 month, 1 month, 1 month. And if you look to the right here, you can see in this month. So if you looked at the very bottom here, see how when I'm about here, this is in the month of August. In August, price fell from, so we're looking here now, in 1 month, price fell from 1.980 to 1.819 GBP versus the US dollar. So again, so we can switch it to weekly. So now each one of these bars represents 1 week. And just remember, you can use your cursor here and it shows you at the very bottom, it shows you which month in time period, and the right shows you the price. So remember, the right side here is price, down here is your which month or day or week, depending on your time chart setting here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go back to monthly. I want you to go back to monthly, and if you have anything open on the side here, I want you to have a nice large charting window. So just make sure all of these are, if they're open, just close them. We want nothing else on our chart. And here's another trick I'm going to teach you. Okay, let me delete all these items here. Okay, so you can, I'm holding my left mouse button and you can scroll the chart left and right. You can also use your wheel mouse. So you can click on your left mouse button and move the chart left to right. But if you notice, when you're holding your left mouse button, I can't scroll up and down. So if you want to be able to scroll up and down, you have to go here. I don't know why it's like this. It's like this on MetaTrader as well. So left click and hold and scroll a little bit down, and then let go. And now you can scroll up and down and left or right. So if you hold your left mouse button, now I can scroll left and right and up and down. And when you hit, so click on your right mouse button and hit reset chart. Now it's back to reset. I can scroll by clicking on my left mouse button. I can scroll left and right, but I can't up and down. Again, if you come over here, and click on your left mouse button and hold, scroll a little bit up and down, let go, and now come back here and click on your left mouse button. Now I can move the chart anywhere I want. And I usually like it like this when I'm marking up the charts. Okay, so we finally have our chart set up as far as our favorites. We have our favorites set up here. We have our favorites set up on our drawing tools. This bar is our drawing toolbar. And we have our favorites for our time frame here. So we're going to click on monthly, make sure monthly selected. So each one of these bars represents 1 month. And now we're going to start marking up our charts. So what I suggest doing is, let me show you a little trick here. Okay, so what we're going to start doing is we're going to start drawing in our support and resistance areas. And we're going to draw in some trend lines and just do some basic chart markup. So what we're going to do right here is, this is what we're primarily going to do. This is what traders do. We mark up the charts. Like I said, we mark up the charts and it shows us the money. Where do we buy? Where do we sell? Some of you were asking me about, how do you know when to enter a trade, when to buy, when to sell? Candlestick analysis, each one of these bars, it's called candlesticks. We're going to talk about that in another tutorial where you look for patterns. But right now, we're just going to be drawing some basic support and resistance areas, some trend lines. And what I'm going to teach you is what we call top-down analysis. So we want to start on the monthly time frame because this is going to be the strongest support and resistance areas. So monthly and then weekly as well. Weekly and monthly support and resistance areas. This is where price historically has come and stopped. So see how price came up and then fell back down? Because we're on the monthly chart, when price comes back to these levels, because it's the monthly time frame, it's going to be the strongest support and resistance. So what I teach is top-down analysis. We start with the monthly time frame. So make sure the monthly is selected up here. Each one of these bars represents a month. So here we're going to go to our drawing tools. I'm just going to move this over. If you want to reorganize some of these, you can just click on your left mouse button and hold and drag it. But this is how I have mine set up. I like to have this guy first because these are some of the tools that I used most frequently. Okay, so when we click on this guy here, it's going to bring up this little bar right here. So this is you can kind of customize this horizontal line. So first, how I made that disappear, I just clicked on my right mouse button. But here, let's just click on horizontal line with our left mouse button. And we're going to just ignore this for a minute. And we're just going to draw in some support and resistance areas. So right here, I'm going to click on my left mouse button. It drops a line. So this is what we're going to call support. So when I drop this down, it kind of expands. It brings up this other menu here. So you can actually change the color. You could also change how thick you want the line. You can also change whether you want it to be a solid line or a dotted line. We're going to leave it. Solid, and we're just going to use red for now. I'm going to teach you how to use different colors to represent different time frames. But right now, we're just going to make sure it's selected to red and solid line. So that's all we're going to. Sorry, thickness. That's thickness, and this is solid. So solid line, thickness. We're going to go number 3 here, the third one, and we're going to select red. Okay, so let me show you that again. So I'm going to delete this line. So okay, so now we're going to start drawing support and resistance. Finally, so we have our chart set up. Let's start drawing some support and resistance lines. So because we're at the monthly time frame, this is going to be our strongest support and resistance area. So we're going to draw in some zones. So here, watch what I do. Right here, we're going to draw that line in. I'm going to, you don't have to label these, but for now, I would suggest maybe labeling them. Just so you get familiar with what we're doing. Support. Okay, so this is our support level. This drawing tool, we're just going to move it right here. Just want to make sure this color is red. It looks a little different. Okay, there. There's a nice bright red line. So this is our support area right here. So this line here, we're we're going to call support. So see, when price comes down, it hit the ground, which we call support. So a support area, and then price came back down and hit support again. So now we're going to draw a resistance area. So we draw a resistance line right about here. I'm going to label this as resistance. And then we're going to draw in another line here. So just keep in mind, why am I drawing it here? Because see how price came up to here, found resistance. I'm going to duplicate this 1 second. So if you click on a text right here and you go, what is this, copy, or sorry, clone or copy, I believe is the same thing. What happens? Yeah, okay, go clone, because then it pastes it for you. So I'm going to move this. This is a new resistance area. So when price comes up and hits resistance, when it comes up, it's always hitting resistance. When price is coming down, when price comes down, this is actually would have been this level right here would have been support, but because it broke through, it found support here. It found support here. Then price came up, hit resistance, and then price tried to break above. See how right here came up. This is another that's showing us that, again, is proving that it's resistance. And then price attempted to break above resistance, failed. This is what I called failed. 1 second here. Failed to pass resistance. So see how price failed to pass resistance here. Failed to pass resistance, and then price fell to a support level. And then we can go ahead and draw in another line here. This is now, I'm going to clone this. This is now new support. So I'm going to move this here. So this came down, hit support, came up, hit resistance, tried to get above resistance, failed, went all the way down, hit support. Then, 1 second. So how I'm doing this, I just right click and hit clone. And it came back up and hit resistance. And now it's moving back down to support. So basically, this is a quick overview of how to draw in resistance areas, how to draw in support areas. I want you to practice this. We're going to just practice using your drawing tools. Right now, we're just getting familiar with TradingView. So, but I think right now, for some of you, most of you that are beginners, you're seeing that, what exactly all these bars and these lines mean, and how do you know when to buy and sell? Well, this is how you know when to buy and sell. When price, like I said, we're on the monthly time chart. When price comes up and hits these areas, this is going to be the strongest areas for price to fall down or price to climb back up, because historically these levels have been very strong in the past because we're on the monthly time chart. Say if we go to the 30-minute time chart and see how the chart's kind of messed up, we're going to click on our right mouse and go reset chart. This is why each one of these bars here represents 30 minutes, and why we don't trade. We eventually will look at the lower time frames. This is what you call lower time frames, but because you see each one of these bars represents 30 minutes, you don't want to be buying and selling here because, you know, price is jumping around. Comes up, goes there, and then it jumps up, and then it comes back down, and then it jumps up. This is what some people do. It's called day trading. They buy and sell throughout the day, and once you get better at trading, you can do this. You can, you know, these are all opportunities here. You can, throughout the day, you can buy and sell, make money. But when you're beginning, the markets are too bouncy here in the lower time frames. You don't want to be trying to trade as a beginner on the lower time frames for this reason. So what we're going to do is I'm going to delete these lines, and we're going to go back to the monthly time frame. We're going to right click on the screen and hit reset chart, and we're back here. So this is what I want you to focus on doing. I want you to draw in on the monthly chart strong support and resistance areas. I want you to take note that see how price came up here, retested this area. Every time price comes up and retests these lines, this is showing you that this is a strong support or resistance area. And potentially, I'll show you. Oops, let me get rid of that. So potentially right here, we could have sold or sell. This is a potential sell area right here. We could have sold here, and price, if it went in this direction that we predicted, this would be our profit. So I'm just going to delete these lines here. I'm going to use this drawing tool here. Long, see right here. Yeah, you should be able to see it. This is long means to buy, and short means to sell. So just remember these terms, because this is just a terms that they use. Instead of saying buy or sell, they say long is to buy and short is to sell. So just remember that. So because we're selling here, I'm going to show you this tool. This tool, I want you to practice this as well, because this shows you risk to reward. Another tutorial, I'm going to teach you about risk management. Risk management is everything in trading. You know, whether you have a $150 account or a $10,000 account, you have to use proper risk management. Because of this specific fact, this is what enables us to trade with relatively a small account and make large profit. You have to use risk management, but more on that later. So right now we're just gonna click on with our left mouse button on that, and then it brought up this little bar here, and this is just settings for it, but we're gonna ignore this. So again, we just click on this button here, and then we move our mouse and we use our left mouse button and we click on the screen. And so this is our risk to reward tool. So I want you to practice looking for risk opportunities in the market to buy and sell. So just left click on your mouse and you can move this around. And what we're going to do here is we're going to look at our risk to reward. So I'm just going to keep it over here. And then I'm going to drag this down to here. And then I'm going to, this is our stop loss. And we talked about stop losses, setting a stop loss in MetaTrader 4. I'm going to teach you this again. So say our stop loss, we're going to set our stop loss to about here. So 1 second here. So say our stop loss, we're going to set it here. This is where we're going to move this to where we open our trade. So because we're selling right here off of a strong resistance areas. So we're going to sell because price approached a strong resistance area. We see that price failed to stay above resistance. So this is a sell opportunity for us. So with this tool, our stop loss is here. This is what a stop loss is say we're predicting that the price is going to go down, so short. And if we're wrong, we want our stop loss is something that we set in MetaTrader 4, and I'm going to show you that in a minute. We set a stop loss so that if the trade ends up going against us, when I say against us, say if price decided to go up, instead of going down, if price decided to come here and go up, as price went up and it approached, 1 second here, as price went up and approached our stop loss, it would close the trade. Because if the trade goes against us, it goes up, our stop loss will close the trade. So we this is what risk management is. So our account won't go negative too far. It'll close it out at say $5 negative. So 1 second here, I'm gonna clean up this chart a little bit. So here we're in a potential sell. So right here I want you to look at this, a risk to reward. So it shows 7.02, and that's incredible. So it's showing us for every dollar we risk, we're gonna make $7. And only in Forex or trading can you risk $1 and make $7. So if we risk $10, we would make $70. But let's stick with $1. So I'm gonna draw in something here. So our risk here, we're going to set this to, let's say $10. Okay, so we're going to sell here. Hope you guys are following. Okay, so we're going to sell here. We have a $10 stop loss set at this line here. See, in case the trade goes against us, we're hoping the trade goes downwards. We're hoping the trade goes down. So from here, we're hoping that it goes down. We're not hoping. We've based on our chart analysis, we're predicting that the price will fall. So if the price falls, we will make, 1 second here, we will make, actually I was supposed to, I'm going to change that, 1 second, we'll make $7. We're not, sorry, I'm going to change this, we're not risking $10, we're risking $1. Okay, so say we risk $1, let's put this as a negative number. We're going to risk $1 to make $7. And because our risk to reward is 1 to 7, And our stop loss, we're going to set our stop loss just above this area here. Our stop loss is $1 and our risk to reward is $7. And if the trade goes in our favor, we're going to make $7 and it'll hit our take profit. So now I'm going to show you how to place a trade. So say here we're going to sell, we want to risk $1 and make $7. So let's open up MetaTrader 4. Okay, so you can see we're on GBP USD here. If we aren't there, we're going to go to, we're going to click on this guy right here and we're going to go to GBP USD. We're going to right click on our mouse and go to chart window. It'll open up a new window. It'll also open up tabs here. We're just going to close this one here because we already opened this in the previous like an hour ago. We already set up our chart, so you should have this on your screen here. So we're going to sell. So right here, say we're at this moment in time, we want to sell. We're going to go to MetaTrader 4. We're going to click on New Order. We're going to select, for now, I want you guys to always use 0.01. This is our volume, means the trade size. So how big of a position or trade do you want to open? Because we're just learning, we're going to keep it simple. We're going to have the smallest amount here. We're going to open up the smallest trade amount because we're just learning right now. Stop loss and take profit. We could manually put a number in here, and that's based on our price, but we're not going to do that. I'm going to show you an easier way to set a stop loss and take profit. So again, so just go here, New Order, make sure it shows GBP USD, volume 0.01. Make sure this shows market execution. Market execution means it'll open or close a trade, or sorry, it'll open a buy or a sell immediately. So make sure it shows market execution. And here's buy or sell. So we're selling right now. So based on our analysis here, we're wanting to sell, and our take profit will be a lot lower. So right here, we're going to go sell. You can see right here, it's opened up a sell position. Here is just confirming what we did. Just hit OK. So now we've just placed a sell. Right here you can see it says sell. And now we're basically in a trade. So right here, this is our profit loss. It'll always start slightly negative because I'll teach you more about spread and all that kind of stuff. It's just a bit of the cost of opening up a trade. So this shows you our profit loss. We call it floating because of the open trade. And here, if you look, this line right here, it just gives us information about the trade we opened. So we placed a sell. Our position size is 0.01. The symbol we chose is GBP USD. This is the price we sold at. There is no stop loss or take profit set yet. This is the current price, and this is commission, a little bit of commission you pay the broker. So now that we're in a sell, we're going to set a stop loss and take profit. So right here, I want you to practice this. This is very important. You always want us to set a stop loss and take profit. Like I said, what is a stop loss? Stop loss is if right here, if the trade goes against us, it will close the trade. And our take profit is where we want it to close the trade in profit automatically. So again, so here we have our trade open. What we're going to do now is with our left mouse button, we're going to click and hold and drag up. See here, if you can see, it shows negative 108. That's our stop loss. So because we're working on the monthly time frame, don't worry about this amount right now, because in our example we used $1. That's not very realistic. When we start trading, we're gonna most likely risk $10 to $15 as our stop loss. But for now, just practice setting a stop loss and take profit. Don't worry about the negative amount. So right here, I just want you to realize that, see how it shows SL, that means stop loss. And then it shows you the dollar amount, negative 82, and it shows you pips right here. We'll talk about pips later. Pips is just a measurement of price movement. So basically, I'm still holding my left mouse button, and let's just set our stop loss about this area right here, about $85, and let's place it right there. So let go of the mouse button and hit modify, and then hit OK. So what that did is right here, it set a stop loss of $73. And right now we're on the monthly chart. We won't place trades based on the monthly chart. We only do analysis based on the higher time frames. Right now, I just want you to practice setting a stop loss and take profit. So we have a stop loss set of $74. And now we're going to go back to this line here, and we're going to click our left mouse button and hold, and we're going to drag down. So see, when you drag down, it says TP, take profit. So let's set our take profit about here. So you can see that our TP is $140 USD. So just let go your left mouse button, hit modify, and hit OK. So now we have a stop loss. I'm gonna, hold on, let me try to do something here. I'm just gonna do this so I can kind of show you something. 1 second. Okay, so I just kind of did something here so I can draw on the screen. So here, this is our stop loss, and we set it to about $75. And our take profit, let me just double check. Our take profit is about $150. Take profit. So if price, so right here we're in a sell. If price comes down and hits our take profit, we will make $150. If price ends up going up and hits our stop loss, we will be negative $75. So this is our risk management. So if the trade goes against us, we want to set a stop loss. Otherwise, if it goes all the way up here, we could be negative, you know, who knows? We could be negative $500, which we don't want to do. This is why you need to set a stop loss. And a lot of you guys, you know, that haven't heard of stop loss, you know, you're worried about if I place a sell position and it goes against me, you know, you could be in a big negative number in your account, and we don't want that to happen. So that's why we always set a stop loss, and this prevents our account from being hit with a very large negative number because we didn't set a stop loss. So the game of trading is setting a stop loss to manage your risk and setting a take profit so we can make money. So I'm going to close this here. So say if the trade went down and it hit our take profit, you would then see your account balance here. Your account balance would go up by $150. And if you click on account history, it'll show you your previous trades. So here it's showing that I made $20 and I lost 81 cents, or I lost 28 cents. So this could have been my, where my stop loss was hit, and this was my take profit, $20. So that's what I want you guys to practice, is marking up the charts like this. I don't know if you can hear, my baby's waking up. Okay, so this is what I want you to do. We're going to probably end this tutorial here today. So I want you to practice doing this. I want you to practice marking up the charts. I want you to practice opening a chart in MetaTrader 4. I want you to I want you to open up a buy or a sell. I want you to set a stop loss. I want you to set a take profit, and I want you to continue doing that. And I want you to get familiar with this and practice this. And again, this is in the next tutorials, I'm gonna show you how to do more chart analysis, because this is very basic what I showed you right here. But this is the main thing I want you to understand, is that price always moves to certain resistance areas and support areas, and price gets rejected, and that's when we buy and sell. As well, what I want you to practice as well, one second here, let me just delete all of these. So here we drew in support and resistance areas. I also want you to practice, you could always also go in, see here we drew in, these are all monthly monthly support and resistance areas. If you double click on this and put in some sort of note here. So to put in monthly, monthly. So you know which one of these lines, let's change the color from white, text color, to red. So I want you to label it so you know this is the monthly. This is a monthly resistance line. I also want you to use this lock right here. So if you lock it, you can't move it without unlocking. So just when you're marking up the charts and moving them around, sometimes you might grab a line that you don't want. You can also use right here, this is the like undo, redo buttons. So if you make a mistake, you can just go back or forward. But what I want you to do is lock them so you don't accidentally move it. I want you to label this. So if you label this monthly, do the same thing with this. Monthly. We're going to change the text color to red. Also here, I'm going to teach you something here. So see how I made this red and I label it monthly, you can go and, one second here. Okay, right. So just click on this and then go here and go, one second here, save drawing template as, and you can type in monthly, and hit save. And so what will happen is, say when you draw in a new line, you can just go here and type in and then select monthly. Mine I have set as this color and it's on the left hand column here, but here if you save them, so if you go save the drawing tool, you can always, when you put a new line on your chart, you can just go here and click on monthly or daily. You can actually just maybe write some of these down. So what I do is for my daily lines, daily I use red. For monthly I use this brown. For 4 hour I write green. And random line I use blue. And weekly, I believe, yeah, weekly is a similar dark color to the monthly, but I have it dashed. You can use any colors you want, and but what I want you to do is label the monthly and weekly as different colors. So here, now that we've labeled our monthly, I'm just going to quickly label these monthly. want you to do this as well. 1 second. So label these all monthly. Also lock them so you, oops, see how I deleted that accidentally? I can go up here and hit or undo. So I want to, let's lock all of these so we don't accidentally move them. Okay, now that let me delete these. So now that we have our monthly lines drawn in, I want you to go up here and click on weekly, and then right click, hit reset chart. Use your wheel mouse to kind of scroll, or you can use your left mouse button and hold, and just like I taught you how to rearrange the chart. So now what I want you to do also, I just want you to draw in monthly and weekly support and resistance areas. So right here, because we're now in the weekly, each one of these bars represents 1 week. So I want you to draw in weekly. So here I'm going to select my weekly. And now what we're going to do is, actually hold on. We're going to look for weekly levels. So right here, so it's labeled here weekly. See how price came up? And then also once it came down, it came back up. See how price came back up and found support? So remember this, when price comes up, it's hitting resistance, but resistance can turn to support. So see how price came down. So see how right here, see how price came down and hit this level. So it used to be resistance. Let me just draw this in. Resistance. Price came up, hit weekly resistance, came back down, broke above it, hit monthly resistance. Clone. Hit monthly resistance, came back down, hit support. So why I'm showing you this is because, okay, we're on the weekly time chart. Price came up, hit this level. So I want you to look, this is how we draw in our weekly levels. See how price came up, hit this level, came back up, came back down, hit this level here. Notice how price tested this area twice. So it came up, hit this level, this weekly. Hold on, let me put this centered. Maybe you can, 1 second here. Center. So price came up, hit this weekly level, came back down, came back up, hit this level. So how we find weekly support and resistance is we look for where price comes and tests that same area again. So this is weekly resistance. So I want you to look for this. So I'll show you another example. About here. So I'm going to draw in right about, I'll show you later how to find precise support and resistance, but see here, see how price came, see how price came up from here. Price came up, hit this weekly level, came up and hit this level again. But here's a better example. Wherever price hits multiple times on the weekly time frame, that shows you that this is a level. So since we're on the weekly time frame, you can see that price came and touched here, came and touched here, came and touched here before dropping down. That's how we find our weekly support and resistance area. So monthly, we go to the monthly time frame, draw in our support and resistance area, then we go to weekly, and we do the same thing. We draw in our weekly support and resistance area. So see here, again, price touches the weekly level. And just notice this. See how price came up, came down. This is what we call a retest. Retested our weekly resistance and then dropped. This is what I'm going to teach you later on too. Price does this very often. It'll come up, hit a level, come down, came back up, retest. It does a retest of this level before it drops. See that? This is actually where I would say this is a, hold on, sorry. This would have been a sell opportunity. I would have sold here. I would have sold here. Why? Because price came down, came back up, retested, and then dropped. I would have sold here. Okay, so that's it for this tutorial. I want you to practice drawing in monthly and weekly support and resistance areas. You can also, I keep remembering new things, you can also draw in your trend lines. So support and resistance you combine with trend lines. And what are trend lines? Trend lines, something like this. I want you to look for instances where, see how price touched right here? Price also touched right here. All you need is two areas, so 1 or 1, 2. Well, let me draw that in. Let me just put a 1 here. You need 2 points. That's 1 point right there. Another point here. So I'm going to draw in this again. So to draw a trend line, you need 2 points. This is point 1. So what I do is actually, so select this with your left mouse button. You click once, and it'll hold it. So I'm not holding anything. I just clicked once, and then drag the trend line to the bottom here. And what I want you to do is align the line with here, point 2. So right there, point 2. That is a trend line. So in the future, price may come up and touch this trend line and then fall back below. So this could be another potential sell area right here. Because why? Because price came down, hit a monthly resistance area. So it hit monthly resistance. It also hit a trend line. Price didn't actually come up, but say if price went all the way up, this is 2 reasons to sell. If it pretend price came up and hit this trend line. For example, actually, let's use this as a better example. We could have sold here. Why? Because price hit our trend line. Price also hit monthly resistance. And then price fell. So basically, I want you to practice this, drawing support and resistance monthly and weekly, draw in trend lines, and look for potential sell areas. Just like this, it hit a trend line, it hit monthly resistance, fell below it, and we could have sold it to this point. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I'm really excited to continue this journey with you. Thank you for your patience in waiting for these tutorials to come out. I'll see you in the next tutorial, and thanks for watching. Forex family for life. Okay, goodbye. Thanks.